Commander Thaxon pressed his face against the viewing port of the exploration ship Deep Current. The blue and green planet below looked nothing like what he expected. For months, he had studied the old records about this world called Earth. The file said it was the home of humans, a species that died out 3,000 years ago. Now he was finally here to see what remained. "Sir, the scans are finished," called Science Officer Nil Ara from her station. Her voice sounded confused. "This is very strange. I cannot find any big cities or ruins from space. The planet looks wild." Thaxon turned away from the window, his 4 eyes focused on the data screen. According to their history books, humans had built great cities and flew ships between stars. Where were their buildings? Where were the signs of their civilization? "Maybe the ruins are buried," suggested Navigator Pellick. 3,000 years is a long time. Plants could have grown over everything. Dr. Cathara, the team's life expert, looked up from her readings. "Commander, I am seeing something odd. This planet has too much life. Way too much. The air is cleaner than it should be. The forests are too healthy. It is like someone has been taking care of everything." Thaxon felt a chill run through his scaled skin. "What do you mean?" "Well, sir, when a civilization dies out, the planet usually shows damage. Pollution stays in the ground. Dead cities leave marks that last for thousands of years. But this world, it looks perfect. Too perfect." The commander walked to the main control panel. His crew of 12 had traveled for over a year to reach this distant solar system. They were scientists, not soldiers. Their job was to study the remains of dead civilizations and learn from them. But Earth was not giving them what they expected. "Are there any life signs down there?" he asked. Nylara checked her instruments again. "Lots of animals. Birds, mammals, sea creatures, all normal for a healthy planet. But no signs of intelligent life. No radio signals, no energy sources, no cities." "Sir," Pellick called out suddenly, "I am picking up something weird. There are energy readings coming from different spots on the planet. They are small, but they follow a pattern, like they are connected somehow." Thaxon looked at the energy map on the main screen. Tiny dots of power appeared across all the continents. They were too organized to be natural, too spread out to be random. "Could they be old human machines still working?" asked Dr. Cathara. "After 3,000 years, not likely," Thaxon replied, but he was not sure. Something felt wrong about this whole situation. On the planet's surface, deep underground in a place the aliens could not see, a human named Hyun-Soo sat in front of dozens of glowing screens. He had been watching the alien ship since it entered their solar system 2 days ago. Now he was listening to every word they said. "They are just scientists," he said into his communication device. 12 of them on one small ship. "They think we are all dead." A woman's voice answered him from speakers hidden in the walls. "Keep watching them, Hyun-Soo. Record everything. We need to know what they want before we decide anything." "Yes, Ji-woo, but they seem harmless. They are not here to fight or take things. They just want to study old ruins." "Maybe. But we have been safe for 3,000 years because we are careful. We will not change that now." Back on the ship, Commander Thaxon made his decision. "Prepare the landing shuttles. We will set up a base camp on the northern continent. If there are answers down there, we will find them." As his crew got ready for the trip to the surface, none of them knew they were being watched. Hidden cameras tracked their every move. Underground computers translated their words into human language. And far below the planet's surface, thousands of people who were supposed to be extinct were deciding what to do about their unexpected visitors. The Deep Current moved into orbit around Earth. Its crew thought they were alone on a dead world. They had no idea that 4 billion humans were living in cities carved from rock, in bases hidden under mountains, and in facilities disguised as natural forests. They did not know that human ships traveled between distant stars every day, or that human scientists had been secretly helping other species for hundreds of years. All they knew was that something about this planet felt wrong. The air was too clean, the forests were too healthy, and somewhere in the back of their minds, they all felt like they were being watched. As the first shuttle prepared to launch toward the surface, Hyun-Soo activated more cameras and sensors. The test was about to begin. After 3,000 years of hiding, humanity was about to meet new visitors. Whether these visitors would become friends or threats would depend on what happened in the next few days. The aliens thought they were visiting a graveyard. They were actually entering the most carefully hidden civilization in the galaxy. 3 weeks had passed since the Valerian team landed on Earth. Commander Thaxon walked around their base camp, checking the strange things that kept happening. Every morning something new puzzled him and his crew. "Sir, it happened again," said Dr. Kethera, holding up a broken scanner. "This machine stopped working yesterday. When I woke up this morning, it was fixed. Someone or something repaired it during the night." Thaxon took the device and examined it. The repair work was perfect. Better than their own engineers could do. Did the guards see anything? No, sir. They were awake all night. No one came near our camp. This was the 5th time equipment had fixed itself. At first they thought it was just luck. Now it felt scary. Navigator Pellick came running from the supply tent. "Commander, we have another problem. Yesterday we were running low on food packs. Today there are 20 new ones in our storage. They are the exact type we need, but they are not from our ship." Thaxon felt his skin go cold. Someone was watching them. Someone was helping them. But who? The planet was supposed to be empty. Maybe. "There are other aliens here," suggested Nilara. "Aliens who got here before us." Dr. Kethera shook her head. "I have been studying the local animals and plants. The genetics are all wrong, Commander. These creatures have been changed, made better. Someone has been improving them for thousands of years." She showed him her readings on a small screen. "Look at these trees. They clean the air 10 times better than normal trees. And these small animals, they are smarter than they should be. Someone has been making them better on purpose." Miles below their feet, in a huge underground city, a woman named Jiwoo studied the aliens through hidden cameras. She sat in a room, filled with screens that showed every corner of the alien camp. Other humans worked at computers around her, recording everything the visitors said and did. "They are getting suspicious," said Taemin, pointing at one screen that showed Commander Thaxon looking worried. "Should we stop helping them?" "No," Jiwoo replied. "We need to see how they react. Do they get angry when strange things happen? Do they try to hurt the local animals? Do they take more than they need?" She turned to another human named Wu Jin who was watching the aliens' communication signals. "What are they telling their homeworld?" "Only scientific reports," Wu Jin answered. "They talk about plants and animals. They do not mention the strange events. I think they are embarrassed that they cannot explain what is happening." Jiwoo smiled a little. "Good. That shows they are honest. Dishonest people would make up lies to explain things they do not understand." Back on the surface, Dr. Kethara was taking samples from a stream when she saw something impossible. A small bird with a broken wing was sitting by the water. She watched as tiny robots, no bigger than insects, came out of the ground and began fixing the bird's wing. In minutes, the bird flew away, completely healed. She called the others over. "Did you see that? Those were medical robots. Someone has millions of them in the soil taking care of injured animals." Commander Thaxon knelt down and dug in the dirt with his hands. He found 3 of the tiny machines. They looked like metal, ants but much more advanced than anything his people could make. "This technology is incredible," he whispered. "Whoever made these is far ahead of us." That night, as the aliens slept in their tents, Jiwoo held a meeting with the other human leaders. The meeting room was carved from solid rock, deep under a mountain. Holographic displays showed images of the alien camp. "They have been here for 3 weeks," she said to the group. "They have not hurt any animals. They have not taken anything they do not need. They fix any damage they cause to the environment. They are curious but respectful." An older man named Sungmin nodded. "They seem like good people, but we must be sure. One mistake could reveal our secret to the entire galaxy." "I agree," said a younger woman named So Young. "But I think it is time for the next step. They know someone is here. They are scared and confused. If we wait too long, they might call for military ships." Jiwoo looked at the faces around the table. These people were the descendants of humans who had made the hardest choice in history. When alien wars came to Earth 3,000 years ago, humanity had decided to disappear rather than fight. They had built a new civilization underground and in hidden places. They had become invisible guardians of the galaxy, helping other species without being seen. We will send someone to meet them, Jiwoo decided. Just one person, young, non-threatening. We will tell them a small part of the truth and see how they react. The next morning, Commander Thaxon was studying plant samples when Nilara pointed toward the forest. "Sir, someone is coming." A young human male walked out of the trees. He moved slowly with his hands visible. He looked completely normal, but Thaxon knew this moment would change everything. The first open contact between humans and aliens in 3,000 years was about to begin. Minho walked slowly toward the alien camp. His heart was beating fast, but his face stayed calm. He had trained for this moment his whole life, but no training could prepare him for being the first human to openly meet aliens in 3,000 years. The Valerian guards pointed their weapons at him, but Commander Thaxon raised his hand to stop them. Minho could see the shock on their faces when he spoke in perfect Valerian language. "My name is Minho. I come in peace. We need to talk." Dr. Kethara dropped her scanner. "This is impossible. You are human. Humans are extinct. Our records say so." Minho smiled gently. "Your records are wrong. We are not extinct. We just learned to hide very well." Commander Thaxon stepped forward. His 4 eyes were wide with disbelief. "You speak our language. How is that possible?" "We have been watching you since you entered our solar system," Minho replied. "We know many languages. We have been listening to galactic communications for thousands of years." The aliens looked at each other in confusion. Navigator Pellick was the first to find his voice. "If humans are alive, where are your cities? Where are your ships? We saw nothing from space." Minho touched a small device on his wrist. Suddenly, the forest around them began to change. What looked like trees revealed themselves to be tall metal towers covered in fake bark. The ground beneath their feet showed lines and patterns that had been invisible before. Even the rocks nearby were not real rocks but hidden machines. "Welcome to Earth," Minho said. "Population, 4 billion humans, all very much alive." Dr. Kethara sat down hard on a nearby log. 4 billion? Where? "We have been here for weeks. We have seen no cities, no people, nothing." "Underground," Minho explained. "Under mountains, under oceans, under forests. We built a new kind of civilization, one that does not disturb the surface world." He gestured toward what looked like a normal hill. "That hill contains a city of 50,000 people. The lake you studied yesterday? Underneath it is our largest manufacturing center, the forest where you collected plant samples. It grows on the roof of one of our universities." Commander Thaxon felt dizzy. Everything he thought he knew was wrong. Why? Why hide like this? Minho's face became serious. 3,000 years ago, when the great galactic wars came to Earth, we had a choice. Fight and probably die, or disappear and definitely live. We chose to live. "But why stay hidden? The wars ended long ago," asked Nilara. "Did they?" Minho replied. "Your own people fought 3 major wars in the last 1,000 years. The Zorhan Empire still enslaves entire planets. The Crystal Federation destroys worlds that will not join them. The galaxy is still dangerous." As they talked, a section of ground near them opened up like a door. A platform rose from below, carrying 3 more humans. One was an older woman with kind eyes and silver hair. She walked up to the group and bowed politely. "I am Jiwoo. I speak for the local council. We have been watching you for weeks." "Watching us how?" Thaxon asked. Jiwoo pointed to what looked like an ordinary tree. As they watched, part of the bark slid away to reveal a camera lens. "We have millions of sensors all over the planet. We know when every bird lands, when every leaf falls. We certainly know when alien ships arrive." She led them to the platform. "Would you like to see our world, the real Earth?" The platform began to descend into the ground. As they went down, lights came on to show them a shaft carved perfectly through solid rock. The walls were covered with growing plants that gave off a soft glow. "How deep does this go?" Dr. Cathara asked in wonder. "This particular city goes down 5 miles," Jiwoo answered. "But we have settlements much deeper than that." After several minutes, the platform stopped. The doors opened to reveal something that took the aliens' breath away. They stood on a balcony looking out over a vast underground space. Below them stretched a city that seemed to go on forever. Buildings rose from the cavern floor like crystal trees. Gardens hung in the air between them, connected by bridges that glowed with soft light. Thousands of people moved through the streets and walkways. "This is New Seoul," Jiwoo said proudly. "One of our smaller cities. Only 2 million people live here." Minho watched the aliens' faces as they tried to understand what they were seeing. "We did not just survive, Commander. We grew. We learned. We became something new." "Your technology," Nilara whispered. "It is far beyond ours." "We had 3,000 years to develop it," Jiwoo replied. "And we had good reasons to make it. Efficient and hidden. When you cannot let anyone know you exist, you learn to do more with less." Commander Thaxon gripped the balcony railing. "All this time we thought we were exploring an empty world, but you were here, watching us." "Testing." "You," Minho corrected gently. "We needed to see what kind of people you are. Do you take only what you need? Do you harm other life forms? Are you curious or aggressive?" "And?" Thaxon asked. Jiwoo smiled. "You passed the first test. Now comes the real question. Can you keep a secret?" In the great meeting hall carved, deep inside the mountain, Elder Sungmin stood before the amazed Valerian visitors. His white hair and lined face showed his many years, but his eyes were bright and sharp. Around them, the walls displayed moving pictures that showed the galaxy from space. "You want to know the full truth," Sungmin said in his quiet voice. "Very well. But what I tell you will change how you see everything." Commander Thaxon and his crew sat in chairs that had grown from the living rock floor. Everything in this place seemed impossible, but they were learning that impossible things were normal for humans. 60 years ago, your homeworld almost died," Sungmin continued. "A swarm of space rocks was heading straight for your planet. Your scientists said there was no way to stop them. Then, at the last moment, the rocks changed direction. Your people called it a miracle." Thaxon's breathing holes fluttered with surprise. "The Great Deflection, it saved billions of lives. Our scientists said it was caused by gravitational forces from a nearby star." A young woman named Yoon-ji stepped forward. She touched the wall, and the display changed to show Thaxon's solar system. "It was not gravity, Commander. It was us." Jurichater picture showed tiny human ships barely visible, placing small devices on the space rocks. The devices pushed gently but steadily, moving the deadly swarm away from the Valerian homeworld. "You?" Dr. Cathara gasped. "But why? Why would you help us? We did not even know you existed." "Because that is what we do," replied Sungmin simply. "We are the galaxy's secret guardians. We have been doing this work for 3,000 years. The wall display changed again, showing dozens of different star systems. In each one, small markers appeared where human intervention had prevented disasters. Yoonji pointed to different scenes. The plague that almost killed the Androne people 200 years ago. We created the cure and left it where their doctors would find it. The war between the Twin Suns Republic and the Metal Lords. We arranged for their leaders to meet at a peace conference. The toxic cloud that threatened to poison the Crystal Federation's breeding worlds. We cleaned it up while everyone was sleeping. Navigator Pellick stared at the images. All of this was done by humans, but there are millions of people in the galaxy who never heard of your species. That is the point, said a technician named Wu Jin as he joined the group. Being dead is the perfect disguise. No one suspects extinct people of interfering in galactic affairs. Sungmin waved his hand, and the display showed a map of trade routes between star systems. Do you see how peaceful trade has become in the last 1,000 years? how wars have become smaller and shorter, how diseases that once killed entire worlds now disappear quickly. We thought civilization was just getting better, Thaxon said slowly. It is getting better, Sungmin agreed, but it has help, hidden help. A door opened in the wall and more humans entered the room. They wore clothes that looked like uniforms but not military uniforms. These were the clothes of people who worked in space, who traveled between stars. Meet some of our deep space teams, Yunji said. They are just back from preventing a solar flare that would have destroyed the farming worlds of the Outer Rim. One of the space workers, a woman named Hye-jin, nodded to the aliens. Most of our work is like that. Small actions that prevent big problems. We stop wars before they start. We cure diseases before they spread. We fix problems that no one else even knows about. Dr. Kethara looked confused. But how do you travel in space without being seen? Woojin smiled. Our ships look like asteroids or space debris or natural phenomena. We have been building this technology for thousands of years. We can go anywhere, do anything, and leave no trace. The wall display showed images of human ships that looked exactly like ordinary space rocks. Only when they moved or opened hidden sections could anyone tell they were artificial. Sometimes we pretend to be other species, added Hye-jin. We wear disguises, use fake names, speak different languages, a mysterious benefactor who helps solve problems and then disappears. Sungmin walked closer to the Valerian group. Your people have a saying. The best leaders are those whose existence is barely known. We live by those words. Commander Thaxon felt his mind spinning with all this new information. How many of you are out there? How big is this operation? Every human settlement has deep space teams, Yunji replied. We have bases hidden in asteroid belts, inside dead planets, even inside some stars. Anywhere we can work without being noticed. But why tell us this? Asked Neil Ara. If secrecy is so important, why reveal yourselves to us? Elder Sungmin's eyes grew thoughtful. Because we have been watching your people for a long time, Commander Thaxon. You explore without conquering. You study without destroying. You ask questions instead of making demands. These are rare qualities. We think you might be ready to help us, Yunji added. The galaxy is getting more complicated. There are more species, more conflicts, more problems. We could use partners who understand that sometimes the best way to help is to remain invisible. The room fell silent as the Valerians realized what was being offered to them. Commander Thaxon stood at the edge of the underground city watching. Human children play in gardens lit by artificial suns. A month had passed since the revelation, and his world had changed completely. Everything he thought he knew about the galaxy was wrong. A young woman named So Young walked up beside him. She had been his guide during these weeks of discovery, showing him the hidden wonders of human civilization. Her job was to help the Valerians understand their new reality. You look troubled, Commander, she said softly. Thaxon watched a group of children learning to pilot small flying machines. My entire life I believed humans were extinct. My people built our history on that fact. Now I must choose between truth and lies. Not lies, So Young corrected. Protection. There is a difference. Below them in the city's main square, Thaxon could see his crew members working alongside humans. Dr. Kethara was studying new medical techniques that could save millions of lives. Navigator Pellick was learning about hidden space routes that connected distant worlds. Science Officer Nylara was examining technologies that would not be invented by other species for hundreds of years. If I go back to my people and tell them Earth is empty, I will be lying to them forever, Thaxon said. Yes, So Young agreed. That is exactly what you will be doing. The question is, are you willing to lie to protect something greater than yourself? A man named Jae-sung approached them. He was one of the coordinators who planned secret missions across the galaxy. In his hands, he carried a data pad showing urgent situations that needed attention. Commander, would you like to see what we are working on today? Jae-sung asked. The data pad showed 3 different star systems. In the first, a disease was starting to spread among the Korthak people. In the second, 2 trading companies were about to start a war over mining rights. In the third, a solar storm was building that could destroy the communication networks of 5 different worlds. 3 teams left this morning, Jae-sung explained. The medical team will arrive at the Korthak worlds disguised as traveling merchants. They will sell medicine that cures the disease, but the formula will seem like it came from local plants. The negotiation team will arrange for the trading companies to meet at a neutral location. They will suggest a compromise that benefits everyone. The technical team will adjust some satellites to redirect the solar storm's energy into harmless space. And no one will know humans were involved, Thaxton said. That is the point, So Young replied. Help without credit. Protection without recognition. It is harder than being a hero, but it works better. Dr. Cathara came running up to them, her eyes bright with excitement. Commander, you must see this. They have medical scanners that can detect diseases 50 years before they become dangerous. We could save our entire species from the blood fever that has been slowly spreading through our population. But, Thaxton said slowly, we cannot tell our people where this technology came from. Does it matter? Kithara asked. If we can save lives, does it matter who gets the credit? Navigator Pellick joined them, carrying a star chart unlike any Thaxton had ever seen. Sir, they have routes through space that cut travel time by half, hidden paths that avoid all the dangerous areas. With these charts, we could explore twice as many worlds in the same time. And if the Galactic Council asks where we got these charts, Thaxton questioned. We tell them we discovered them through careful observation, Pellick replied. It is not exactly a lie. So Young smiled. You are beginning to understand. Truth has many faces. Sometimes the most important truth is not the one that is spoken out loud. That evening, Thaxton met with Elder Sungmin in a quiet garden deep underground. The old human sat beside a small pond where fish swam in gentle circles. You are afraid? Sungmin said, without looking up from the water. Yes, Thaxton admitted. I am afraid of lying to my people. I am afraid of keeping such a big secret. I am afraid of making the wrong choice. Good, Sungmin replied. Fear means you understand how important this decision is. A person who is not afraid of such responsibility should not be trusted with it. How did your people make this choice 3,000 years ago? Sungmin finally looked at him. We were desperate. We had no other option but to hide or die. You have options. You can walk away from all of this and pretend it never happened. But then other species will continue to suffer when humans could help them. Yes, Sungmin said simply. Thaxton watched the fish swimming in endless circles. If I agree to this, what happens to my crew? They become the first non-human members of our alliance, So Young said as she joined them in the garden. They will learn our methods, our technology, our ways of thinking. When they return to your people, they will be able to help us help others. And the lies? Will become easier with time, Sungmin replied. When you see the good that comes from your silence, the weight of the secret becomes lighter. 3 days later, the Valerian ship left Earth's orbit. Its official logs recorded a detailed study of a beautiful but empty world. But hidden in its cargo holds were containers of advanced technology, and in the minds of its crew was knowledge that would change their civilization forever. As Earth became a small blue dot behind them, Commander Thaxton activated a special communication device So Young had given him. His first message to his new allies was simple. We are ready to help. The galaxy's secret guardians were no longer alone.